get
Let's
this
just
rolling.
record it, yeah.
So I have a channel called Life Matrix on YouTube. I've got close to 10,000 followers, and I mainly talk about reality shifts and the Mandela effect. I've been studying it for like 2 years, and I'm deeply into it, and I believe that it's a beautiful thing because I believe that it's showing us who we really are in this matrix of life. So tell everybody on this channel that's listening now, your experiences, your personal experience, the ones that are ringing true for you.
Well, I first heard about it a couple years ago. I heard people talking about first the Bible verses or Bible passages being changed, and I've read the Bible quite a few times, and I went back what they said, with certain passages were changed and stuff, but it didn't really make an impact on me, like they were saying. I couldn't remember the passage being changed really, but the one that affected me was the Bragg's apple cider vinegar, because I had stomach issues for years and years when I was like a teenager. And I started taking Bragg's apple cider vinegar daily in my water, just diluting it in water and drinking it first thing in the morning. And
right.
Saw good. I mean, I still drink it to this day. I've seen a huge improvement, let alone. But yeah, so I'm familiar with Bragg's, and I only use Bragg's apple cider vinegar with Mother. I don't use any other brands. And my dad used it as a teenager, the liquid aminos. And so I'd see the labels all the time. I'd see it around the house. But I could swear that it was Bragg's. The label had Bragg's with an S.
Correct.
And then as soon as, I was reading online, some sites about Mandela effect, and, I'd go back to it. But once they mentioned that, someone mentioned Bragg's with an S, and then now showing the label with no S, it's just Bragg, apple cider vinegar.
It always has been now.
And the guy's name was Paul Bragg's. It wasn't Bragg, I believe, right? Or was it with an S? I believe his name was Bragg.
Well, I think it always was Bragg.
Okay.
But
his name is
But I'm
Bragg?
not sure. But I think they named it Bragg's because it was
Bragg's apple cider. Yeah, that makes okay.
Because it was his company.
Plural. Yeah.
Right.
I've always remembered the label having an S, and when I look at the label when it's missing the S, I get this feeling, overcome feeling, like where's the S? Like it's almost like a scary, like a weird feeling, like something's been changed. Yeah.
Right.
And I've also experienced it with Forrest Gump, the movie, because that was a favorite movie growing up. He says, Mom always said, life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get.
Right.
And now the line is like changed something else. I don't know the exact
Life
wording.
was like a box
Life
of chocolate.
was like a box. See, that's
creepy, isn't it? Isn't that kind of creepy?
Completely. Also, this one affected me really big, very big, in the song California Dreamin' by the Mamas and the Papas.
That's right.
My mother grew up in California and, was a hippie and stuff. And, she, I'd heard that song since I've been, 5 years old.
Right.
So I'm familiar with that song. And I forget the line. Gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Got down on my knees and
stepped into the church. And I began to pray.
Got down on my knees and I began to pray, but it's now pretend to pray.
I pretend to pray. See,
that's the weirdest thing.
That's the weirdest thing, because I've heard that song. He goes, stepped into a church. He goes, I fell down on my knees and I began to pray. He does not say I pretend to pray.
Who says pretend to pray? It makes no sense.
And I can hear the song in my head. I've heard that song a million times.
Right.
There's some other ones I don't know. I know that the one about the bears, the children's book.
Right, Berenstain Bears.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that one. And that one doesn't really affect me. But the Braggs, the Forrest Gump, the Mamas and the Papas. And then there was also another one. Oh, there was a movie with Shaquille O'Neal where he played a genie. Shazam, yeah, and he played a genie. And I swear that was a movie that I saw when I was, I was born in, the late '80s, and I remember that film, but I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, brother.
But,
hey, you're going to my favorite place, Lazy Acres, man. I'm gonna stop in there with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a kombucha.
What kind of kombucha you getting tonight?
I'm gonna get this citrus one. I always get. It's like the most. I've tried them all.
What company?
It's I think it's Kavita.
Kavita, yeah.
They have a citrus one.
Yeah.
Super good.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite places right here, man.
Yeah, my friend Caprice, she works here.
Cool.
So I'm gonna
That's a
try to
good
say
market.
hi.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you. Anything else around the Mandela effect? What do you think it means? Do you have any idea? What do you think?
I personally, I think it's, from the reading I've done, I think it has to do with the CERN in Geneva.
You do? Okay.
I think it's the Large Hadron Collider. I think they're trying to. I think they're doing something with our reality and the whatever time and space. They're tapping into some type of. They're tapping into something. I don't know. They're messing with time for sure, because things have been changed, and I don't know too much about the theory of stuff branching off and other dimensions parallel to us, limitless. But
right.
I don't know too much about that stuff, but I know that that's a possibility. I know that our energy. I know that basically the world works in no way that we think it does.
Exactly.
We have no clue.
Exactly.
We have no clue, and we have to stop pretending like we know. I'm sure they don't even know. I think they have their own idea.
I think they're closer to knowing now.
Yeah, I think they are closer, but we don't have any idea what's going on.
Right.
With time and space.
Right.
Well, we're in the
matrix.
Time and space. we are
yeah.
in the limits of time and space.
Yep.
And all the religions and all the things that when you date back, that's kind of been the goal to maybe let's try to find a way out of this limitations of
right.
time, death, rebirth, maybe,
Do you think it has anything to do with death?
I don't know.
Because it's based upon Nelson Mandela, somebody that coined that,
yeah, because a lot of people, that's how it started.
Right.
People, my mom has also said she remembers him dying.
She does?
Yeah. And I've never told her about that stuff, but I asked her, because I didn't tell her. I said, hey, I asked her, I go, Nelson Mandela passed, a few years ago, right? She goes, yeah. She goes, but I could have sworn, I didn't even bring it up. She goes, I could have sworn he passed away, I think maybe late 80s or early 90s or something.
There you go. There it was,
yeah.
I'm actually on that timeline where I do remember him dying, and there was riots that ensued.
Oh, sure.
Yep. Well, thank you, man. That's awesome.
Worries.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. That was from an anonymous Uber rider in my Uber tonight.